Yes.
Good morning, we are Team 2 and we're going to talk about deforestation and pollution, and my name is Valeria Saba.
I am Mariana.
I am Mauricio. I am William.
I'm Daniela.
I'm Karen. Deforestation is the permanent destruction of forests in order to make the land available for other uses. Deforestation occurs around the world, so tropical rainforests are particularly targeted. If current deforestation levels proceed, the world's rainforests may completely vanish in as little as 100 years, according to National Geographic. The Amazon is the world's largest rainforest and the largest river basin on the planet. More species are found here than anywhere else. 20% of the Amazon biome has already been lost and the trend will worsen if gone unchecked. Amazon is the biggest deforestation front in the world, and interventions are urgently needed to prevent in a large-scale, irreversible ecological disaster. WWF estimates that 27%, more than a quarter of the Amazon biome, will be without trees by 2030 if the current rate of deforestation continues. Mexico has lost more than half of its natural forests, an average of more than 705,051 per year. A forest was lost between 1997 and 1993. This rate then increased to 819,591 per year from 1994 to 2000, according to a recent study by Herrera 2010. Deforestation in Mexico has been a collective misfortune caused by poverty, misconceived government policies, greed of some loggers, tree poaching, and poor technical supervision. Some forest management plans are causing genetic erosion through dysgenic selection, which eventually will degrade the forest productivity and sustainability in the long term. In the tropics, selective logging along the roads will end up with species substitution and genetic dilapidation. Pollution may muddy landscapes, poison soils and waterways, or kill plants and animals. Humans are also regularly harmed by pollution. Long-term exposures to air pollution, for example, can lead to chronic respiratory disease, lung cancer, and other diseases. Toxic chemicals that accumulate in top predators can make some species unsafe to eat. More than 1 billion people lack access to clean water and 2.4 billion don't have adequate sanitation, putting them at risk of contracting deadly diseases.
We are at a park at Cumbres. As you can see, there is deforestation and pollution. According to investigators, a human being needs around 7 or 8 trees to have enough oxygen to live a healthy life. According to the World Health Organization, Mexico has a pollution level high, a PM10 of 86, a PM2.5 of 36, and the pollution index is 72.16%, and the pollution X scale is 132.98%.
Our hypothesis is that if there are no trees, then people and animals will be affected in various negative and degenerating ways. If the environment is polluted, the everyday lives are going to be affected in an unhealthy way. We think that if the park or the environment that we're talking about is clean, the people that live near there and the animals that pass through that places, its way of life is going to change. If the environment is deforested or polluted, it's going to affect them in various ways. The loss of trees and other vegetation can cause climate change, desertification, soil erosion, fewer crops, flooding, increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and a host of problems for indigenous people. Deforestation occurs for a number of reasons, including including farming, mostly cattle due to its quick turnaround, and lodging for materials and development. It has been happening for thousands of years, arguably since men being converting from hunter-gatherer to agricultural basal societies, and require larger, unobstructed tracts of land to accommodate cattle, crops, and housing.
We tested our hypothesis by analyzing and recording our surroundings. We found out that the runners that run through a path in the deforested park tend to feel more fatigued and with a loss of breath faster than those who were running in the non-deforested park. In contrast, here in the non-deforested and greening park, we found out that runners, kids, and animals feel a lot more energetic thanks to the huge amount and abundant amount of oxygen provided by the trees. And even though there is almost no grass at all, there's a lot of trees which provide the sufficient amount of oxygen for the runners and people to not feel fatigue, and with a loss of oxygen that we found out the other park did make people feel like that.
Our hypothesis was correct. The lack of trees in the environment which favors the pollution will affect the quality of life in animals and people. The long-term exposure to polluted air can have permanent health effects such as accelerated aging of the lungs, loss of lung capacity, and decreasing lung function, development of diseases such as asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, and possible cancer. Also, if we compare an environment which has more vegetation and is cleaner than another which is contaminated, the people will be more pleased to go and exercise, as well as there is more biodiversity since animals like birds can live in their habitat.
Una mariposa. ¿Sabes qué le decimos nosotros? Oye, te es bien tétrica. Qué creepy.
Quería ver cómo se ve. I want to.
Making the environment practically impossible to retake a clean condition. To it, the bad quality provokes the environment to change or drastically its condition of the air, the temperature may vary on long term, and also the cleanliness of other factors as rain can be affected in such a way that may damage the environment. We can conclude from this research that since the pollution is a serious problem due to the release of noxious chemicals, compounds through gases or others by degradation of the materials. Also, a factor that affects the pollution on an area is the deforestation, that makes more complicated to the area to recover and a cleaner supply, making the environment practically impossible to retake a clean condition. Due to it, the bad quality provokes the environment to change a little or drastically its condition of the air, the temperature may vary on long terms, and also the cleanliness of other factors as rain can be affected in such a way that may damage to the environment.